Hey everybody, hope you guys doing alright, man. So I feel like Joe is. What I'm getting is that he doesn't feel like he needs to learn anything more about evil. Like he feels like he knows evil well enough, and that may be so. Maybe so. It may have been for somebody else, but from my perspective, I don't think he does. If he really knew evil the way that I feel he should, or the way that humanity needs to, and I'm still learning myself. See, that's part of it right there. Is he already thinking that he knows enough when I'm not even thinking that? I'm just working on what I got. I'm always learning. I'm always open to learning new things. That's why I'm writing things like, "Please help me learn how to help humanity help itself," because I still don't know. I'm still learning this shit. But anyways, man, if he really knew how evil works, then he would be spending and he knew how serious things are right now. He would be devoting a whole lot of more attention to helping the kids. Like he could do seriously things with his podcast, with the amount of influence he has. If he chose to take a real strong stance towards helping starving children and fighting it back against these evil pedophile fucking rings and shit, that would change the whole world right there. If Joe Rogan did that, like true earnest honesty, the way that I'm like every single day, he's fucking just harsh, like we're getting these kids fed, we're getting these kids fed, we're getting these kids fed, we're getting these kids fed. I'm gonna get all of the experts all over all of the world to help figure out a solution to get these children fed, develop sanctuaries, develop fucking security teams, develop investigation teams, the whole nine yards. He could easily do that. I say easily because he's Joe Rogan. I can do it too. It's not going to be as easy for me because I'm not Joe Rogan, but I have other things that he doesn't have. But this is the thing, though. It really isn't easy for him because he's not me. That's what I'm saying. Like if he was that knowledgeable of evil, then he would be doing what I'm doing. Like, might not be doing it the exact way I'm doing it, but he would know that the human children are their. That's their thing. That's what they need. Okay, beyond that though, it's the right thing to do. Like if you really knew evil, then you would also know about love, and you know that the most meaningful thing that you can do to help out love is to help those in the most dire need of help, of love, of life, of goodness, of assistance, which is what love is, to help things grow. Who else needs more love than kids without even parents, without food, without an infrastructure to help them grow up and feed them? And starving children, dude. That's what needs help. That's what they feed off of. That's the even just from an energetic standpoint, that whole area is full of demons that are plundering and pillaging both in the physical and the etherical all the time. All the time. He still is yet, to my knowledge, not even done something as simple as, like, hey man, I think like we should help starving kids. Like even if he were to do that with who he is, he would probably save hundreds of children's lives because his listeners would hear Joe Rogan saying that and say like, I think it's a good idea. And I feel like a lot of people would probably be like, you know what, if Joe says that shit, I'm gonna go over there and save some kids, just by him doing that. But he hasn't even done that. Like that in itself is a huge, like if you want to look at it like that, punch towards evil, like against evil, hurting evil. And helping good. But he's not doing that type of stuff. I think he wants to. I hope he does, but he's not right now, unless there's something I'm not aware of. So, like, because he's not doing that, that tells me he doesn't know evil as well as he thinks he does. Or maybe, I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, or maybe it's the love he doesn't know as well. But he has a pretty good understanding of love. So that's why it's like, I just think he doesn't know as well as he thinks on both matters, man. I think he doesn't know as much as he thinks about evil. I don't think he knows as much as he does about love, and I don't think there's that many people that really do. Because if they did, they'd be acting differently, you know. And it's like knowing it isn't just about the actual statistical information; it's how good of a relationship you have with it. Because that's the true merit. Like if you really know it, then you would be acting in accordance with it, which means you would be doing things like helping the starving children out, exposing evil, knowing how they work, knowing it is a profiteering system. Like these people are profiting the fuck out of our miseries. Okay, then if that's you also knew that, then you would be working to try to make things as affordable and as organic as possible for everybody on the planet Earth, which is exactly what I'm doing. Again, like I'm not even wanting to do this, but because Joe, decided, he woke up this type of a way and came at me with this type of energy, I kind of have to, I feel like I'd be neglecting it if I didn't, because it was a pretty clear, very strong force that I felt of him, and even why and his intentions and all that. So, and if he wants to debate it, I would love to have a discussion. Maybe there's things he can teach me that I'm not aware of. There is a lot that I have to learn. I don't know it all. I don't. I'm constantly learning. constantly growing, as we all are. And I love to learn too. So I'd love for him, if he does have things he thinks he could teach me, I'd love to learn. But based on the nature of his tone, says something. So because he came at me with such aggression, that says something. Like, I haven't done anything wrong to him. He has no good reason to come at me with aggression, and yet he did. And I think it's because he is worried inside of himself, and he's again judging me as the Buddha and thinking that he knows what the Buddha should be doing. Which, I get it, man. A lot of people do these things. It's just kind of what happens with being who I am. People expect things of you, and they think that you should know. They think they know what you should be doing, even though they have no idea what it's like to be in your mind. But this is part of the consent. This is part of the issues with the way that certain entities have decided to portray figures like the Buddha and Jesus. They put them on this pedestal to make them look like they're these perfect fucking beings without any type of issues, and like the robots. That's kind of how. I mean, the Buddha. There isn't really much. I don't think that there's much. I mean, it's very obscure. Like, when you look at what he actually did, like, there isn't even any type of movies or stories that really depict that I've witnessed, that really depict what he's done with any type of accuracy based on the stuff that when you look up what he actually did, like the things that he performed, some pretty fucking out of worldly stuff, dude. And I like the movie with Keanu Reeves didn't really go into that at all. So anyways, but again, like there was a lot that he had to go through in order to get there, just like the same is true with Jesus. And this is also something that I think that has unfortunately hurt. I don't want to talk about him anymore, but I think you guys know who I'm talking about, because he grew up feeling who he was, reading this book who he was, and he grew up in the South, where it's a very heavily Bible-written territory. And so because he's growing up with these notions of like this worship, like looking up to this figure in this tyrannical way, it's very tyrannical. When you look at the Bible and the way they portray Jesus and the relationship that Jesus has with his followers, it's very tyrannical. Like the whole bowing and like this, and it's very domineering and tyrannical, but it's made to look like it's divine. No divine being should ever, if they're truly aligned with their good divinity, want another being to bow. In fact, they're going to say, don't bow to me. That's taking away from you, and it's feeding my ego. Don't do it. It's bad for you and me. Right then and there, I just pretty much like decimated Christianity, but they've been fooled. So it's like, this is why I'm here, to help shed light on these things. So, but just from that standpoint, the bowing thing, I hope that makes sense to y'all. That's exactly how these domineering motherfuckers work. Why do you think Trump just had a bunch of his followers or people behind him or whatever buy a bunch of his hotels, like have to stay in his hotels to make him money, go to his events, pay for them to go to his events, which is all profiting him, just to have them eat burgers, I think it was burgers or food with his name written inside of the food. Okay, and now he's got Trump coins, he's got Trump knives. I mean, dude, this guy's ego is out of fucking control. It's tyrannical as fuck. That is not good. This dude has serious narcissistic, egotistical problems, bro. Seriously. And he's in charge of the most powerful country on the planet right now. But things are changing, so it's all good. But again, this is for Joe and for largely for Joe, but for anybody else who can learn from this, it's, anybody that watches it, it's meant for. So, all right, I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.